What is up? July 25th weekly update. Highlighted this week, honestly, was my day off on Thursday. It was my day off. I did some mics throughout the week. I did a mic on Monday, not on Monday. I did a mic on Sunday, a mic on Tuesday, three mics on Wednesday, and then Thursday was my day off. Now, I've definitely mentioned it before, which is that I observe the Sabbath, right? It's definitely a part of my life. I started it, I want to say, I think 3 years ago. No, it's 4 years ago now. Actually, I started it in 2022, I think 2022, 2023, and so basically, observing the Sabbath is for me taking one day off a week. Right? God rested, so I rest, and for me, that comes in the form of, as I said, I take off one day a week. So this last Thursday was my day off. It was my Sabbath. And it varies week to week as to like what it is that I actually do on my Sabbaths. Um, the general rule of thumb that I have for it is that anything that I do the rest of the week, I don't do that on my Sabbath. So Mike's work, working on Vanessa, um, going to coffee shops, even though I've gone to coffee shops, but I don't get work done. I just like watch YouTube videos and stuff. Um, but this particular Sabbath, all I did was play video games. That's all I did. I just played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on my Switch for, I'd say, between 10 to 12 hours. It was the longest amount of time I've spent playing a video game in a very long time, and it felt really, really good. Oh, it felt so good, because last week last week I went and visited my brothers out in the countryside, and so my Sabbath that day, they needed some help getting some stuff done. It wasn't anything major, but I mean, it was still work. So technically I worked on my Sabbath, even though it wasn't, but it was. So there was that. And then the week before that, I don't remember what I did that week. I think I went to a coffee shop. Yeah, I did. I went to a coffee shop and I sat down. I watched YouTube videos for several hours. Um, and then I forget what I did later on in the evening that particular day. So, it'd been a while. It'd been a while. Probably 2, 3 weeks since like the last, like, just sit down and do nothing, which is my favorite thing to do because I'm always going, I'm going, right? Like, after I do this update, I'm gonna go to a coffee shop, I'm gonna read the Bible, I'm gonna post this video, I'm gonna set up the description for it, right? I'm gonna write a little bit, write some jokes, right? I'm gonna go over the menu for work. Then I got work later on today. Then I get out of work, go to sleep, get up tomorrow morning, go back to work for brunch, get out of work, get groceries, go to church, get out of church, write jokes, go to the open mic, and then we're on Monday, right? Like, I already know that's my entire next 2 days, right? Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then Monday, get up, coffee shop, Bible, study the menu, write jokes, uh, go to work, get out of work, do a mic. Do a mic or go to sleep. But I'm probably gonna do a mic. Um, and then Tuesday, I'm gonna install the solar panels. The two new solar panels that I bought for Vanessa. I'm gonna put those on Tuesday because I'm working the other days. Because, like, when I glue them down, I can't move the van for 24 hours because the glue has to cure. So yeah, it's like I'm always going, always, always, constantly. And that's just my life. But it's also really rewarding because everything that I'm doing are things that I want to do, right? So it is what it is. I like everything that I'm doing. I really do. So on my days off, where I just sit down and I do nothing, at all for 10 to 12 hours. I say 10 to 12 because I went with my sister and my brother in law to get dinner. And I don't remember how long we were gone, but I went from playing the game, leaving with them, eating, coming back, playing the game some more. I started playing the game at like 1:30, I think, 1:30 in the afternoon, and I didn't stop till about 1:45 a.m. I got the Master Sword. Yeah, I finally got the Master Sword in Breath of the Wild. I'm so happy about that. Um, but yeah, so it just it was it was a lot of work. It's a lot of work, you know. The life that I live, I'm constantly working every single day, and I can't keep this pace forever. I hope I succeed in becoming a comic before I get too old, but until then, I mean, I take off 1 day a week, and this last Thursday was one of the best Sabbaths that I'd had in a while, and it was just so relaxing. It was so relaxing, and I'm really, really thankful for that, you know? So, other than that, I mean, I did some mics, I wrote some jokes, um, didn't do too well, at one mic on Wednesday. I had a okay set Tuesday night. I had an okay set Tuesday night. I was happy about that. That set actually inspired me to write in the same direction for Wednesday, and so I'm kind of like writing some new material. It's like it's still related to what I was writing before, but I'm taking a different approach to it, just different approach, and we'll see how that goes. Uh, Less is more, if you will, is what I'm trying. Less is more in terms of writing. That being, I'm just like writing topics and I'm going on stage and talking about them. I've done it before. I've done it before, and because it's so organic and natural, um, it's much more enticing to the audience for me. Which again, I've mentioned this before. When I go on stage and I just talk about subjects, I get good responses. But then I take that and I try to write that out as like jokes, and then I go on stage and do that. That just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work the same way. It doesn't work the same way, and just don't understand that. I don't understand that. Um, so I don't know. I've mentioned that several times on here if you've seen the other weekly updates. So, oh well, here we are again. So I'm going to leave it at that. 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe if you want to like and subscribe. And God bless.